Now, in addition to selecting a student each year to speak to the graduates also elect one member of the school's faculty to address them on their last day here at the school. This year, the students have selected Professor Philip Joyce. Phil Joyce directs the school's specialization in public sector financial management, and in addition to his career here at the University of Maryland, Phil has taught on the faculty at George Washington University, the Maxwell School of Citizenship and Public Affairs at Syracuse University, the University of Kentucky as well, and in addition has 12 years of public sector work experience, including 4 years with the Illinois Bureau of the Budget and 5 years with the United States Congressional Budget Office. In 1992, he received the CBO Director's Award for distinguished service there. Professor Joyce has received numerous national awards, including the Aaron Waldowski Award for Lifetime Scholarship in Public Budgeting and Finance, the Elmer Stotz Award from the National Association of Schools of Public Affairs Administration, and the Joseph Holy Award from the American Society for Public Administration. He is currently the editor of the leading journal in the field, Public Budgeting and Finance, and he's been elected a Fellow of the National Academy of Public Administration. So it is with great delight that I give you Professor Philip Joyce.
Before I start, I'd like you to join me in giving a round of applause for Dean Kettle for all the hard work he's done on our behalf over the past 5 years. Thank you, Dean Kettle. So first, Martin, I like the hat. I am honored to have been asked to address you. I've been told that I have 3 to 5 minutes to provide some parting words of wisdom. This is daunting for a couple of reasons. First, my normal time allotment is 2.5 hours. And many of you can attest to the fact that I can't really even clear my throat in 3 to 5 minutes, but we'll see what happens. Second, this implies that I have something to say. On substance, the bar was set pretty high by Chris Foreman and Rob Sprinkle the last 2 years. So I was looking for inspiration, and I found a compilation that NPR recently put together of the 300 best commencement speeches ever. Now, I learned a lot of things from looking at this, but I'm going to share 2 of them with you. The first is whatever I'm going to say will never make such a list. And the second is that Kermit the Frog gave the commencement address at Southampton College in 1996. Who knew? So somehow that made me feel better, because I just have to meet the Kermit the Frog test. Before going any further, I do want to make sure I say, because I believe it, that I am proud of each and every one of you for choosing public service, for the milestone that you're reaching today, and most importantly, for the many things that you haven't done yet, which are very important and good things that you will do. I can also tell you, as someone who apparently, according to Dean Kettle, has taught in multiple public policy programs and cannot keep a job, that I have seen a lot of public policy students in my time, and I've never been more impressed with a group than I am with you. I mean that. Having said that, please. Having said that, just telling you how great you are seems not to be quite enough and to get you up this early. So there are 3 cautions I want to leave you with as you move on from your relatively cloistered life as a graduate student to a little more complicated life as a public servant, and for some of you as you continue that life. The first is, as much as you have learned and learned and learned about the design of public policies and how to analyze them, never forget that public policies are actually implemented by people. And I swear that Caleb and I didn't rehearse this, but this is the same message. How you interact with those people is at least as important as how smart you are or how good you are at figuring out the right policies. I've run into a lot of people from graduate schools of public policy that don't seem to be able to get over the fact that public policy doesn't work quite the way that economic theory says it should. And they missed one important point, I think, which is that in organizations, relationships matter, how you treat people matters, and it's important to your success that you know who has the power to make things happen. And what all of those have in common is that they involve people. The second thing I want to tell you is that the more successful you are, the more likely you are to come into contact with politicians and political appointees, and I want you to remember one thing. They were elected, you were not. When I was 23, When I was 23, my first job was in the State of Illinois Budget Office working for a very good governor, Jim Thompson. Now, in retrospect, one of the things that he can really point to as an accomplishment is that he's one of only 2 governors in the last 40 years who did not go to prison in Illinois, but I digress. But in any event, I continually had to resist the temptation to divide his decisions into 2 categories. There were the bad decisions, and there were the ones I recommended. Now, eventually, I figured out that it turned out that he had a lot more things to worry about than I did. So I eventually learned to cut politicians a bit more slack. Third and finally, and perhaps most importantly, please remember that your integrity and your reputation are non-renewable resources. Once you get tagged as someone who's willing to climb over other people to get your way, or is willing to do a slipshod job in order to get something done quickly, or willing to skirt the law or the rules for your own gain, you've got a reputation, you've earned it, and you better like it because it's yours. Now, part of this involves, I think, remembering that the word public is in public service for a reason. Confidence in government and institutions is low enough, it doesn't need any help. And public servants have a lot of power to do things that make government look good or bad. The how would this look on the front page of the Washington Post test is still a good one, and one to pay attention to, I think. So mercifully, that's all they'll let me say, except that I wish you nothing but the best in all you do. I am sure that you will make us proud, and you'll do many good things, and some great ones. We're interested in knowing what you do, so please keep in touch. And we are sorry to see you go, but that was the point, wasn't it? Thanks very much.